Cher, and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, welcome back if you've been here before. So today I'm going to get into my grocery haul. I went to Sprouts and I went to Costco, and if you are gluten-free and dairy-free, this is the video for you. I'm sharing everything that I feed my family for the week with some fun stuff thrown in there as well, so stay tuned. First up, I'm going to get into everything that I got from the produce section. This is something that is really important to me, is getting the best quality that I can get when it comes to especially our produce and especially our meat and how our animals were raised. So we don't eat perfectly, but we definitely try to get the best that we can, especially with what's available to us. Get what works best for you. And I always say this, if you're getting real whole food and real whole food ingredients, your body understands that and your body is going to flourish and be nourished because of those things. So the first thing that I want to get into, this has become my absolute favorite squash on the planet. And if you've never had these before, you may have overlooked them, or you may have thought, why is, like, what am I doing with that? These are absolutely phenomenal. So these are delicata squash, and they are so delicious. I'm trying to think of something to compare them to if you've never had them before, but it's kind of hard to do. You really want to try one of these. These were, I believe they were $1.99 in my area, and these were organic. I bought them when they weren't organic just because I've got to have these once the fall rolls around and these are in season. I like to cut this up. I like to roast this. You eat the skin. And when I say these are tender and slightly sweet and delicious and filling. So if you're someone who is looking for a different starch, so if you're dairy free and you're gluten free and you're trying to eat more whole real foods, this is one of my favorite ways to do that. If you're like tired of potatoes, or if you're like, I need something different, this is the way to go. Packed with minerals, absolutely delicious and amazing for you, and it has a nice sweetness. These can be used in savory or sweet recipes, and I just like to roast these with some coconut oil and some salt, and they are good to go. Love these so much. So that is our delicata squash. Next up, another favorite, and that is going to be ginger. I just buy ginger root. I use this for stir fries. I use this to make tea. I use this to add to soups and just all types of things, because it is just absolutely amazing for you. It's amazing for your gut health, and it's amazing for your immune system. So I like to have even more things like onion and garlic and ginger around this time because of just how amazing they are for us. So I got just a chunk of ginger root, and then absolute favorite potatoes. These are called Japanese sweet potatoes. They may be called murasaki sweet potatoes. I found these at Sprouts. I've found these at some local grocery stores, but they are a more specialty sweet potato. They're purple on the outside, but the inside flesh is white, and it's slightly starchier than your regular sweet potato, but it's also slightly sweeter than your regular like orange sweet potato or even your yam. These are such, when I say once these come in stock, I am buying at least 4 of these. These are absolutely delicious. If you've never tried them and you see them, give them a try. They're also very similar to the white sweet potato, but these are sweeter than those. Next up, I got a giant bag of zucchini. Usually it's a combination of the zucchini and the yellow squash. I had to hunt for this one that had just zucchini in it because I don't really care for yellow squash. If you do, this usually has both of those in the bag, but I just got a giant bag of these. I love to add this to soup. I love to just saute it. I love to put it in stir fries. It's just so good to put into so many different things. And I also like to make a zucchini bread or zucchini muffins with this. Great way to get in fiber, and just a really easy way to add vegetables to your food, especially if you or your children don't like it, or maybe your husband doesn't like it. I like to actually put that in things like pasta and soup. A lot of times I'll grate it and put it in there. They never even know that it's in there. That's like my little hack I do all of the time. I also picked up a giant bag of russet potatoes. This was a great price. I want to say it was like $4.99. So all these things, when they're in season, you're going to get the best price for them, and they're just easier to find even in stores that, I mean, you may not have a Costco near you, or you may not have a membership. These things, since they're in season, you're going to be able to find them at Aldi, you're going to be able to find them at Kroger, you're going to be able to find them at Wegmans or Safeway or wherever it is that you shop, because they're in season. Those are the typical produce that you're going to see right around this time. Next up, I just picked up some of their organic Gala apples. They were on sale. My son likes them, so I got those. They didn't have the pink lady, but that's a good option just to have something for a snack. I like to pair that with like some nuts or some almond butter or something like that, just as a snack. My son is literally crunching on one right now. Next up, I got persimmons. I was so excited to see these in stock because they're in season. They were $2.99 for a bag. And these, if you've never had persimmons before, the first time I ever had them was, I want to say, a year and a half ago. And when I tasted it, I was like, oh my gosh, where has this been my whole life? Why have I never tried these before? I've overlooked them. And this is like right now around this time is a perfect time to try different things that maybe you don't usually. Around the fall is when I like to pick up at least one produce item that my family isn't familiar with or hasn't eaten, and I like to incorporate that into our meals. We try it. If we like it, we buy it again, and we buy it season after season. If we don't, then we don't. But the more you're able to add more variety to your produce, to your food, the better you're going to be at getting the nutrients and the vitamins that only those things have. So that's one of the reasons why I like to do that. So try that with your family. It's easy to mix things in soups and stews or sneak it into some pasta. And one of my favorite things to do, honestly, is to just roast a lot of the things that you're going to find that are like root vegetables and things like that, and just try them. If you like them, you know, you're adding more value to your health. You're adding more value to your wellness. So persimmons, they kind of look like an orange tomato. They taste nothing like a tomato, and they're absolutely delicious. Next up, this is also cranberry season, which I love, love, love cranberries. So I picked up this giant bag of cranberries from my local Costco. They also sell like the ocean spray bags and things like that. Around this season, I like to buy several bags and just wash them and keep them in the freezer. That's just like a little hack that I like to do because they really only come around this time, but they are packed with antioxidants that and phytonutrients that you just can't get in a lot of other fruit and vegetables. So that is one of the things that I love to do. I picked up some bananas because I make muffins every single week, and I like for these to get ripe, and I make a banana pumpkin muffin for my family, and this is just one of our go-tos for that. So bananas. So some of the other things that I picked up, I am going to go ahead and just go right to left, and I picked up, these were 2 for $4. I like to pick these up. You can get these in almost any grocery store, and these are the plant-based coconut milk Siggi's yogurts, and I usually just buy a couple of these at a time. They're a great snack. My husband really likes it. My kid really likes it. So what's different about these, the ingredients are not perfect. Anything that you buy in a package will not have perfect ingredients, but they have decent ingredients. So this one has macadamia nut butter, coconut milk, coconut cream, pea protein, so that's how they're able to make it 10 grams of protein. It does have cane sugar, it has berry puree, and it also has fruit pectin, and it does contain tapioca and corn, and it does have natural flavor. So if you were looking for a super clean yogurt, I'm not saying buy this one, but this is an option for us that we'll get from time to time, maybe a couple of times a week, just for something sweet. And I like to top this with just some healthy ingredients. Like I like to top it with some chia seeds, and I like to top it with just some like healthier granola, just a little sprinkle of it, just to have something sweet, to switch things up a little bit. And that is this brand. They do taste really, really good. Next up, I picked up, this is a staple for us. I buy it every single week or every 2 weeks. So that is just the Jones, like, what's it called? Jones Dairy Farm. And this is the organic, and this is the organic chicken sausage. So we pick that up every week. It doesn't have any sugar. It has really clean ingredients. It's organic chicken, and we love the flavor of that. So next up, I picked up some sugar-free organic uncured turkey bacon. This one has no antibiotics and no nitrates or nitrites. It's also gluten-free. So I like to pick this up. This was, I believe it was like $5 or $6 at my local Sprouts. And we usually use this, I like to use this to add flavor to other things. So if I'm making collard greens, I can add this turkey bacon to it instead of pork bacon. And I like to make sandwiches, and I'll toast some of these. Literally, I'll hit the toast button or the bacon button on my air fryer, and I like to fry these up and use these in different ways. The other thing I picked up this week, I picked this up honestly just because it was on sale, and I picked up 2 of them. So if you have a Costco near you, I'll show you what it looks like in a moment. If you have a Costco near you, these were $4.97, and they had the little star next to it, which means that it's going to go out of stock and they're not going to replenish it. So it's kind of like a closeout. And this is the garlic herb, and this has 34 grams of protein. It's gluten-free. There's 6 chicken breasts in here. And so I'll show you what it looks like. The ingredients are super simple, which I really like. They're in like a marinade. And when I opened it, it reminded me of the brand that we usually get, which is the Kevin's. And I went ahead and picked this up just because it was on sale, honestly, because I haven't had it before. And I was like, if they're good, I'm going to be mad that I didn't pick up 2, because $5 for a box of chicken that's already cooked. Every time I go grocery shopping, I like to pick up something that's pre-cooked, especially if it's a protein. And this is what it looks like. So it's kind of in this marinade pack, and it's pre-cooked. I just thought this would be a great option to just throw together a salad or a sandwich during the week, or some sort of like roll up with a tortilla and just call it a day. Next up, from Sprouts, I'm not sure what other stores carry this. The only store that carries this, which isn't even like super close to me, is Sprouts, and that is the Pasture bird brand. This is some of the best tasting chicken I've ever had. The price is phenomenal on this. This one is $6.64. This one was $5.11, and this one was $5.54. So this is $5.49 per pound, and I love to do wings and fries pretty much once a week, and this is our go-to. So instead of going through a drive-thru somewhere, I take those, I put them in the air fryer, I make our own fries, and we have a delicious and kind of, it feels like a treat on like a Friday or Saturday, and we all just sit around and eat some finger food, but it's still great quality. So what's amazing about these is that they're eating their natural diets, because chickens are not vegetarians, and they are not fed animal byproducts, and it's more of a regenerative farming process, which is what we really want, because the healthier our animals are, then the healthier we're gonna derive a health benefit from that. So I really like to get the cleanest or the best that I can get. Pasture raised and regeneratively farmed is going to be number 1. Number 2 is going to be organic. Number 3 is going to be all natural. And I always look for things that say no antibiotics, at least no animal byproducts. That's really important, because believe it or not, a lot of times animals that are on feedlots and whatnot are fed other animals, even if that's not their natural diet. We're going to leave that one right there. So next up, I picked up this 2-pack. And this is 2 small chicken roasters. This was $26.07 in my area. This is organic, and this is from Costco. I picked up a triple pack of the organic chicken breast, and I just cut these sleeves as I need them. Next up, I picked up some almond flour tortillas. These were on sale this week, but this is a staple. If they're on sale or not, we buy these every week, because they're just so versatile. If you're someone who you can't have bread, or you haven't found anything that has decent ingredients that's gluten-free, this is the way to go. So the thing about tortillas that I find, and a lot of your bread products and things like that, when it comes to gluten-free specifically, if you thought the other stuff was ultra processed, let me tell you, a lot of the gluten-free stuff, or the carb conscious stuff, or the low calorie, when I say the amount of just really terrible ingredients that can be in a lot of tortillas, it is insane, and we wonder why we have all of these gut health issues and whatnot. When we read the ingredients, these are things that, I always say this, if you have something in a package, it's not going to have perfect ingredients, but it shouldn't have ingredients in it that are going to be detrimental to your gut health, detrimental to your digestive tract. So I like to get things that have very simple ingredients, or ingredients that I understand. And when I say I understand, things that have like dough conditioners. I have seen some tortillas have things like parabens in them, and have things that are just, you would never ever really want to consume. So I like to get the best ingredients that I can when it comes to like tortillas and bread, especially because they can be some of the most processed and ultra processed products, and I say products that we can buy. And honestly, products are not food, even though there are a lot of food-like products out there. If you are sensitive to nuts, there is a cassava flour tortilla. I got these big ones because I think I'm going to try to make a recipe this week. These are super versatile. I like to make little barbecue chicken pizzas out of these. I like to make, it's just any way that you would use bread is the way that you're going to use these tortillas. And they're from quesadillas to, I like to do chicken salad, and I like to put it on a tortilla and top it with some homemade quick pickled red onions. You know what I'm saying? I've shared that on the channel before. I will link it somewhere, or you can find that on my blog at stewardship.com. Next up, I picked up some of the organic celery because we need celery with our wings. I need to step out and buy some carrots just because I like that combination. Next up, I picked up collards. These were beautiful, and 2 bunches. These were, I think it was 2 for $5. Cilantro. When I'm making the barbecue chicken pizzas, I like cilantro and red onion and barbecue sauce, and I have to have cilantro in my fridge pretty much every single week because it comes in handy for so many different things. It's amazing for us, and not just that, it also helps our body to remove some heavy metals. So I like to work herbs into my diet, whether it's putting it in a soup, putting it in something, or a marinade, anything. It's such a great way to really help and boost your health, honestly. Next up, another way to boost your health is to incorporate arugula. It is peppery, it is spicy. A lot of people don't love it, but you can always mix it with other greens to kind of tone it down a little bit. But I love to have this with something that's sweet that kind of balances out that flavor. And all you need is a little bit of it. This isn't something that you want to put in a shake or anything like that because it is very peppery and has a bite. But the thing that I love about arugula is arugula specifically helps your detoxification organs. And your main detox organ, one of them is your liver. And this is so amazing for your liver. Pretty much any bitter herb, but I reach for arugula most often because of that. And I love just the health benefit that I know that I'm getting from arugula. Next up, I saw this at Costco. I was super excited about it because I've actually never roasted my own nuts before in the shell. I've done it like on a pan or on, just kind of got them a little toasty in a pan on top of the stove. But these were non-GMO. They're still in their shell, and it's a combination of walnuts, almonds, hazelnuts, pecans, Brazil nuts. And I cannot wait to do this because they show you on the back how to roast it in the oven, which is a lot simpler than I thought. So around this time, for some reason, or like Christmas to me growing up in New York, my grandmother used to get this big canister that was like honey roasted, and it had like filberts, and it had walnuts, and it had pecans, or pecans as she would say. And they're just a memory for me when it comes to around Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I was super excited to see this. So we're gonna roast those. I'm very excited about that. I always have this on hand, and I ran out, so I had to replenish. Dried onion adds so much flavor to soups. Anytime you buy like little soup packets and whatnot, this is the flavor that you're getting. It's usually dried onion, usually garlic and things like that, but this has the most potent flavor. So I love to add this to soups. I love to add this to things that I'm putting in the Instant Pot that I want to have a great flavor. The other seasoning I picked up is ground fennel, and I picked up some organic raw sunflower seeds to top on that arugula salad that I'm gonna make. Chosen Foods mayo, the best mayo that I've ever tasted. I did not like mayo until I had this. Super simple as far as the ingredients. It's like mustard, avocado oil, whole eggs. I can't use a ton of it since I'm sensitive to eggs, but this is a must for my chicken salad. The next up, we've got some organic coconut oil. It is the season for baking and cooking and whatnot. I'm gonna go through a ton of just things like coconut oil and almond flour and things like that when we start getting closer to Thanksgiving and Christmas. I'm smiling just thinking about it. So I like to use this. If you're someone who likes butter, I think you'll like the flavor of this. If you're sensitive to coconut, you could always use something else. But this is perfect for replacing butter, in my opinion. Next up, I picked up the Simple Mills almond flour crackers. There's 2 bags in here, and it's just so much cheaper than buying the small boxes at the store because you're getting quadruple the amount. It is very, very similar to Wheat Thins if you've ever had those. That's what these taste like. They're crunchy, have a little bit of salt, really, really good. Next up, I picked up Siete chia chips, and I love Siete products. I saw something not long ago about them being acquired by a large conglomerate. I might do a podcast episode on that. And some of my thoughts, if you're curious about that, let me know. Put it in the comments below and we might touch on some of the issues with that. But I picked up something fun, and I only picked this up because this was on sale. And this is usually $6.99 or so, and I'm like, And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pick it up this time because it was on the clearance rack. Whenever you go to health food stores or any store really, there's always some section that has things marked down. And that's one of the times where if they're not like out giving samples of something, I like to just go ahead and pick it up from the clearance section to see if it's something that I would buy in the future. The ingredients, again, this is not perfect. This is a treat. This is a once in a while thing, right? I live in balance. But this is the Catalina Crunch. I've had the cereal before. This does have corn in it, so if you're sensitive to corn, move past this one. This one's not for you. But this one has 4 grams of protein, 3 grams of fiber, and 2 grams of sugar. It's sweetened with stevia, and it has chicory root, pea protein, allulose, which typically is made from corn, and it has palm fruit oil and not palm kernel oil, which are very, very different. Palm fruit oil, I have no issue with. Palm kernel oil is different, and I haven't tried it yet. We'll see. I'll get back to you on that, and I'll get back to you on the garlic herb chicken by Whole30. Let me know what you bought this week. Let me know if you have ever had delicata squash and what your thoughts are on it, because these are absolutely amazing. There's some other things that are in season that I cannot wait to just have recipes with. I'll be bringing some more recipes to the channel because 'tis the season for baking and cooking, and I can't wait to share some of the recipes that I have been testing in my kitchen. Until next time, your life matters, what you do that matters. So what? You steward well. Peace.